And another thing, before the sex change, the Titans ball boy and I were figure skating partners. What's up, YouTube? It's Big Ryan the Fat Guy. Week 6 was rough for us. 4-8-2 for the 33% winning percentage. But overall for the season, still positive. 46, 38, and 7 for a 54.8% winning percentage. Congratulations to King Kellen. He won the Pick'em League with 10 correct picks. 10 for 12 is an amazing week. 83% winning percentage. Only 21% of the 94 competitors would have won money this week, while 79% of us have to look in the mirror tonight and pretend we're not losers. Remember, compete against us each week in our Pick'em pool. Check out the link in the description box below to make your picks for Week 7. Fat Guy, what did you think of the week?
It was rough as shit. Listen to my voice. I was so bad I made myself sick. Yeah, it could have been better. I said a losing week was definitely coming. I was hoping it wouldn't be this early, but it was. And you know what? I kind of felt like Hulk Hogan in the popular film noir No Holds Barred from the onslaught in the comments section last week. I mean, yes, we made a London game oversight, and we were rightfully unforgiven by the academic crowd in the comment section on YouTube. But we're looking to rebound this week, but boy, do we have human egg on our faces.
Let's move on to the games. Thursday night football, Denver at Arizona. Early bettors, 79% on the Broncos, 21% on the Cardinals, +2 at home. Fat Guy, who you got?
Denver gave up two 200-plus yard rushers in a row. Like I said, they're going to get run all over. We didn't get the result we wanted with Denver, but they still got a problem stopping the run. Is David Johnson going to round into form this game? I don't know, but we're going to bet on it. So we're going to take the Arizona Cardinals. I don't like either of these teams, but we're taking the Cardinals.
Fat Guy, the next game is going to be a bit of a surprise for our listeners, but it's an away game for both teams. They're going to be playing in London at Wembley Stadium. That's the Tennessee Titans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. 18% on the Titans, 82% on the Chargers. Chargers are 7-point favorites at home in London. Fat Guy, who you got?
Oh my God, we got scheduling right. Oh, I hope no one says anything mean to us because my feelings are going to get hurt. Yeah, we're going to take the Tennessee Titans. How bad can you look? That was a woeful performance against Baltimore. But that's why you go the other way now. This is going to be a bounce back week. Tennessee's not great, but they're not that bad either. Chargers, they've only been beaten by really good teams. Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs and the Rams. I get it. But whatever. They have to lay 7 points. Come on, it's a neutral field game, maybe. Some teams might travel better than others. I'm not sure which is which, but I'm taking the Tennessee Titans, and I'm taking the points.
On to the Sunday early games. The New England Patriots travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. 60% on the Patriots, 40% on the Bears, +3 at home. Fat Guy, who you got?
I'm taking the Bears. Now, the Bears have some of the saltiest fans ever, every time I bet against them. And guess what? The Bears are who I thought they were. They lost to Brock Osweiler and the Dolphins. Dolphins had replacements all over the offensive line, and they held you to 0 sacks. Everything went against the Dolphins, and they not only covered, they won. The Bears are who they thought they were, but we are taking the Bears. New England Patriots, they're slow on defense. I don't know how you give up that touchdown Tyreek Hill at the end of the game. Drive me fucking nuts. Let's be perfectly honest. I wanted a cover. I got a tie. Pulling these gray hairs out, and like a pirate with a steering wheel in between his legs, it's driving me nuts. We're taking the Bears, though, at home. We're getting points, and I think this is going to be a good comeback game for the Chicago Bears.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns travel to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. Early bets, it's pretty much 50-50. Tampa's 3-point favorites at home. Fat Guy, who you got?
Well, in the Clueless Coaching Bowl, I'm going to be taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the less clueless of the clueless coaches. I can't stand the Browns as much as I love them. I can't stand Hugh Jackson. I'm hoping this will be a bon voyage for him after the next few games, but I highly doubt it. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to lay the points. I love you, Cleveland, but come on. This is just such a terrible showing. Let's go Buccaneers, I guess.
Next up, we have the Detroit Lions traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. There's no line out, no betting percentages. We're projecting that the line's going to be Miami -3.5. Still not sure whether Tannehill's going to play or Osweiler will have to play again. Fat Guy at 3.5. Who do you like?
Let's take the Lions. They've had a week off. They should be able to find some weaknesses in Miami. I'm not sure Patricia's the guy necessarily. What a job by Adam Gase and Frank Gore and company. Fantastic win. Now, they hit the highest highs, I felt, in one of the better games I've watched this season. It was a fantastic thriller with drama, tears, humor, the whole works. But I'm going to take the Detroit Lions and the points. Again, this is a theoretical line because one's not really out, so you could definitely differ when the real line comes out. But there's so many unknown factors. But we have to go with 3.5 at the time being, so we're going to take the Lions and the points.
Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. It's pretty much 50-50 as of now. Eagles are 4-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
Well, the Bears have salty fans, but the saltiest YouTube fans are certainly the Carolina Panthers. Oh, and I'm such an idiot for taking the Redskins. Redskins won. Well, that's all I have to say. The Redskins won. But I'm going to take your team this week. So maybe you can lay off, I guess. I guess maybe I'm cool now. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers and the points. Philadelphia looked great. They hit a high. Carolina had an emotional loss. I like a bounce back from Carolina here. I think Newton's going to be able to evade most of the pressure from that onslaught of a defensive line. I don't like that secondary in Philadelphia. Jalen Mills is awful. They're just not as good. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to cover against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fat guy, you're still cool. You taught me that having a beard and growing a beard are two different things. Next up, the Buffalo Bills travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Right now, everybody's on the Colts as 7-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
Every week we seem to be taking these Buffalo Bills, and they're starting to cover a little bit here. A little bit nice one. They almost beat Houston. Houston is not good. Buffalo is not good. Indy is not good. We're going to take the Buffalo Bills. These spreads are large. I mean, everyone's assuming the Bills are just going to roll over, and it doesn't seem like they're going to. I mean, we're going to have Nathan Peterman, so you can chalk him up for a pick 6 and 2 interceptions. But despite the handicap, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to keep it in range. The Buffalo Bills defense is secretly doing pretty well. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to take the points.
Next up, the Minnesota Vikings traveling to New York to take on the Jets. Everybody's on the Vikings early as 3-point favorites on the road. Fat guy, who you got?
I'm going to take New York Jets. Playing good football right now. Minnesota Vikings, they've had some ho-hum performances. They got a tie as far as covers go against the Arizona Cardinals in a game where the Cardinals had to have a backdoor cover. Usually San Francisco does that type of thing. But I'm going to take the New York Jets, who look pretty good. They could have had a big rout against the Indianapolis Colts. They had 7 field goals. You turn a couple of those into touchdowns. It's a game that's completely out of hand. I like the Jets. I think the Jets defense can show up and give people fits, including the Minnesota Vikings, who have a depleted offensive line. The pick this week is the Jets, and the points, I'm getting points at home. I love that stuff.
The last Sunday early game is the Houston Texans traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. 22% on Houston, 78% on Jacksonville as 4.5-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
Now, I'm going to have to make some concessions here. I went around touting about Jacksonville being the best team in the league. When they get behind, I don't know if they can come back. They're not the best team in the league. Clearly, it has to be the LA Rams, not necessarily because they have a perfect record, but because they're so dangerous in every facet. And I didn't think they were going to be able to pull it together at the start of the season, and I wasn't a believer. I'm starting to become a believer now. They've had some good performances. They went and won 2 difficult games in Seattle and Denver on the road. Those aren't necessarily good teams, but those are really difficult places to play, and they managed to do so. And Denver only covering a backdoor. They were, I believe, a far superior team. Enough talking about the LA Rams. I'm going to be talking about Jaguars. I'm going to be taking them, Jaguars, against the Houston Texans. The Jags can't look any worse, and I think they're going to have a bounce back here against the Houston Texans. So it seems outlandish to lay the points, but I'm going to ride or die with the Jags this week.
Moving on to the Sunday midday games, we have 3 games. First off, New Orleans travels to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. 62% on the Saints, 38% on the Ravens as 2.5-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
I'm going to take Edgar Allan Poe's Ravens. New Orleans had a very good performance against the Washington Redskins, but it just felt like, felt like storybook. Oh, we got these records, and we got his wife and kids on the sideline. Drew Brees, blown coverage for a touchdown pass to break his record. I think that Fantasyland is going to get shut down when he plays the defense in Baltimore, who's quietly one of the best in the league. 11 sacks against the Tennessee Titans. If you get 11 sacks and you lose, I'll eat my shirt. They just look fantastic, the Baltimore Ravens, shutting out a pretty inept Tennessee Titans offense. I like the Baltimore Ravens at home, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. I think this is a playoff-built team. I want to see how it shakes down with Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to lay the points. I want to see if New Orleans is going to be able to put up points in a really difficult climate in Baltimore. I know I'm running long on this, but this has got to be the most interesting game of the week to watch.
Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Washington to take on the Redskins. 30% on the Cowboys, 70% on the Skins as 1-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
Such a homer. I'm not even a Redskins fan. I'm an Alex Smith fan, oddly enough, but I'm going to take the Redskins again. I just like how this team is built. I just do. I'm taking the Washington Redskins against the Dallas Cowboys with the inept Jason Garrett at the helm. Dallas, their defense is looking great. It's really being put together nicely. I like where it is in most facets. They're a few pieces away from being a really good defense. On offense, I'm still not sold, even though they had a really great performance against Jacksonville, who seems to be playing pretty poor on defense because their bend-don't-break strategy is breaking. So I'm going to take the Washington Redskins, and I'm hoping they can slow down this Dallas offense from last week at home. And at home and away are two different stories. Dallas, of course, being undefeated at home, but I like the Redskins' chances at home. Let's take Washington in a not-so-exciting affair necessarily.
The last midday game is the Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Early bettors are on San Francisco, but that's going to change as we get closer to the game. The Rams are 11-point favorites on the road. Fat guy, who you got?
Points are so big. Double-digit dogs at home. You know where I'm going like 9 times out of 10, and unfortunately it's San Francisco 49ers. Of course, some things could change, but they can't really get worse at the quarterback position if CJ Beathard gets hurt. So I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers. Again, they haven't played yet, so things can change, barring injuries in the Green Bay game. But the 49ers are definitely the pick as double-digit dogs. The LA Rams, it's also a divisional game too. They played the Rams pretty tough last year, to be perfectly honest. And it was in, over-under, I'm perfectly honest. I think we're at 2, so it looks like a push. So I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers in a tough divisional game at home.
Sunday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Right now, everybody's on the Chiefs to get started this week. 6-point favorites at home. Fat guy, who you got?
Oh, it's so easy. Cincinnati Bengals. I like the Bengals. Really disappointed with their loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I felt that game was winnable. I felt that game was coverable, but they weren't able to do it. But I think they're going to be able to do it against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs definitely have holes on defense, and I think Cincinnati can poke holes in it. And I kind of like that Cincinnati defense. I really do. They were put under a difficult test with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the talent they have at the skill positions. And they're going to find the same in the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think they're going to be able to clean up some of the mistakes. I really like the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. Give me the Bengals. Give me the points. Let's go Cardiac Cats.
Now, I know everyone's used to me introducing these games given the percentages. But I'd like to invite a special guest to do this very last one. Paul, would you mind coming? Well, fat guy, it's been a while since I've been on the mic to talk with Big Rye and the fat guy. On Monday Night Football, the New York Giants travel to Atlanta, Hotlanta, to take on the Falcons. Right now, only 28% are on the Giants, while 72% are on the Falcons as 5.5-point favorites. The fat guy, who do you got?
Yeah, our audience is going to love this shit. Christ, I hate this game. I mean, the Falcons, I feel for you, Falcons. I feel for you. Super Bowl aspirations just kind of going out the window. You managed to get the win and the cover against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in what could have been a catastrophic loss. What an ending to that game, eh, guys? However, the New York Giants look like the pile of shit that they are against the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Just have so little confidence in that team. But we're going to take the Giants again, aren't we, Big Rye?
We sure are.
Oh, this is a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't like it, but I'm taking the Giants. Something's got to give here. I mean, it's not completely lost, maybe. Saquon is the silver lining for the Big Blue, but they got to get rid of Odell in that attitude. The rest of the team needs to ship up or shape out. Giants, I'm giving you another chance here to at least salvage some dignity on Monday Night Football. Let's go Big Blue.
I just want to thank Mr. Bear for stopping by and giving his thoughts on Monday Night Football. Fat guy, let's move on to the lightning round. Denver at Arizona.
Cardinals.
Tennessee at Chargers.
The Tennessee Titans.
In London.
In London.
In London. That game's in London, by the way, fat guy.
Just so the academic audience of YouTube knows, the game is in London. This sure is a lightning round.
Sunday's early games. New England at Chicago.
Chicago Bears.
Cleveland at Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Bucks.
Detroit at Miami.
Detroit Lions.
Carolina at Philly.
Carolina Panthers for you Salt Kings.
Buffalo at Indianapolis.
Buffalo Bills, and it's the tuck job.
Minnesota at the Jets.
Meet the Jets. Greet the Jets.
Houston at Jacksonville.
Jayville. Good. Let's ride or die, boys.
Sunday's midday games. New Orleans at Baltimore.
It's Nolans, but I'm taking the Ravens.
Dallas at Washington.
Washington Redskins all day.
The LA Rams at San Francisco.
Frisco and the points.
Cincinnati at Kansas City.
Cincinnati Bengals.
And the New York Giants traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
I'm feeling like the Giants are going to put the Falcons 6 feet under.
Bronies, that's it for us. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends about Big Ryan the Fat Guy. And remember, compete against us by clicking on the link in the description box below. Good luck in Week 7.
Is Paul Bearer dead?